yeah. What is it?
One longer hair than the other.
Great clips, wasn't
Not so great clips.
it?
Don't look at you. Don't you?
This is my work of
Bet you
art.
cheat on tests as well, like looking at this. Yeah, but mine's there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm
Goes on
not. I
2
just look
pages.
down.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to the Smithy Show and Hot Topic. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, you can get in touch with us to suggest a topic on Twitter using the handle @JASmithyX, @Fraser Goodlad, and @KurtGallagher94. You can also find us on Facebook and on the YouTubes, of which links will be provided in the show notes. Thank you to everyone who listens and supports us. We love reading your messages and comments on Twitter, Facebook, and also on YouTube. Now, onto the show and onto this combination of creative conversational characters. We have Curtis Gallagher
Alright, fans.
and Fraser Goodlad.
Hello, fans.
Ooh, changing it up.
Hello, everybody.
There we go. Give them what they want. How are you boys doing today?
Very, very
Yeah.
well.
Good.
Very well.
Great. Fraser, you're going to get us rolling with a topical factoid. What do you have for us this time?
Seeing as it's March Madness. There has never been a perfect March Madness bracket documented, and the chances of doing a perfect bracket, creating a perfect bracket, is 9.2 quillion to 1.
Can you
Quillion?
explain?
Quillion.
What?
Yeah, briefly what March Madness is and what a bracket is.
March Madness. That's the college.
For our English fans.
Yeah, the Division 1 college basketball tournament, which is the national tournament. I believe it's 64 teams. Is that correct? It starts with 64, and like a tournament tree. So you have 64, 32, 16, 8, 4, 2, down to the final.
Quick maths.
Yeah. And yeah, basically you choose who's going to win each game. And you got 50-50 chance of every single game getting it right, but it adds up to a 9.2 quintillion chance of doing a perfect bracket. And Warren Buffett, one of the richest men in the world, has said he'll give $1 billion to anybody that will perfectly predict the March Madness bracket. The closest someone's got is go through the first 2 rounds, which is a 1 in 13.4 million chance.
Wow, is that
There
it?
was a guy in Illinois, yeah. 1 in 13.4 million, and that's the closest it's got. But like I said, it's a 9.2 quintillion chance that you'll do it.
Quintillion. You said
Yeah.
quillion at the start, so I didn't know if you...
Quintillion, did I say quillion?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
just made some up.
Oh god. Yeah, quintillion.
All kinds of different numbers.
Quintillion.
How many zeros does that have?
A lot.
We'll let Bradley get back to it.
Yeah, that's Brad, isn't it?
Alright.
Okay.
Today's topic, we are going to use the combined attributes to make the perfect sportsman
Or woman.
or woman. Sports person.
Yeah, different parts of great athletes that could create the ultimate sporting Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So, if this could be mental attributes, personality traits, your left foot, your right foot, every part of a sportsman
Or woman.
or woman that would make you into the ultimate athlete.
Yeah.
Sculpted by the gods of Olympia themselves.
Yeah.
So,
Andrea Pirlo and David Beckham.
so Smithy is gonna grill us on me and Kurt have come up with what we think would be the perfect athlete, and Smithy, you're gonna grill us on what have we got and what should we have, and who's basically got the best athlete, who's gonna win.
All right. So, firstly, let's go a little bit meta on this one and talk about the personality. So, one of the traits that you mentioned, Kurt, was showmanship.
Yes. So I take showmanship as sort of flamboyancy in the sport and maybe a little bit of anger, but crowd pleasing for me.
And since sport's all about entertainment, that's why you've gone down there.
And I've
I'm
gone
guessing.
for the tennis player Nick Kyrgios.
Nick Kyrgios.
I think if you look, he's
Do you know who
very.
he is?
Nick Kyrgios. I know Nick Kyrgios.
He's
yeah.
very
Just seen a
fat.
massive...
He's very.
That's shocking.
What do you mean it's
That's
shocking?
the worst shout I've ever heard. I can't believe you started the podcast with that.
Right.
That's shocking.
How's he not a
Right,
showman?
here's what I've got. Temperament, Roger Federer, the complete 180-degree opposite.
Yeah.
Kyrgios, he throws his racket around, he cries, he swears at the umpires.
Entertainment for you.
Entertainment, maybe, but entertaining because he's losing his head. He's losing
not
the game.
though.
Lose your head, you lose
He,
the game.
he plays shots like the hot dog shot through his legs.
So does Federer.
He does drop shots.
So does Federer.
He shouts at the crowd. He shouts at the referee. He gets fired up.
that's just negatively affecting his game. If he concentrated on winning the game, he'd be much better. I've got Roger Federer because when he came onto the scene as a youngster, he was that fiery character. He learned straight away, if you want to win, you've got to stay calm. You've got to be calm under pressure. You don't even see a flicker of emotion from Federer. He knows what he's got to do. He's calm, he's collected. Composed.
Robotic.
Oh, robotic.
Boring to watch.
He's not boring to watch because he's a very good tennis player.
But his temperament is
I
perfect.
do like emotion in the game. I think of someone like Paul Gascoigne.
Positive emotion.
It's just emotion. It shows he cares. He does get frustrated. He's young. He might be a bit immature, but his showmanship as a whole is very good to watch. You can't
I don't think
deny
that would make you into the perfect Frankenstein athlete that we're talking about. Maybe for entertainment, if that's what you're looking for, but I haven't gone for that.
I think I can personally attest to how losing your head negatively affects your performance.
But it's fun to watch.
Something to
For
add.
you lot.
I've gone the charisma of Muhammad Ali.
Yes.
His presence off, not off the court, but maybe if he was my combined athlete, he would maybe be on the court. But out of the ring, his charisma, the way he would speak, and everything about him was great.
For a similar, I had trash talking, but I guess you could say charisma is Conor McGregor. Although it's a lot more expletives.
This is you two, the opposite ends of the spectrum. Here.
But although it's expletives, it's for me the self-belief that he is the world's greatest.
Self-belief, one could say arrogance.
Arrogance, yeah. Arrogance.
So I've gone for a civil rights activist, and you've gone for an Irishman who just
I've gone for a gypsy who fights in an octagon. No, but they were both arrogant. You can't deny that. Muhammad Ali wasn't arrogant.
Yeah.
If you combine Kyrgios with Conor McGregor, there's no way that they'd get banned from every sport.
I'm a volcano just bubbling.
Bubbling, mate. They'd just be on the edge there.
Depends if we're fighting, then we're right in it.
So why did you go for charisma, Fraser, and Kurt, you go for showmanship?
I believe that charisma is, like we were saying in other podcasts, off the field can be as important as on the field. You've got to have the whole package. And I think charisma, like you were saying, self-belief, his eloquence, the way he would talk about what he's going to do. He would go, Muhammad Ali would say, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
It was poetic at times, wasn't it? Like he just kind of rhymed as he was being interviewed. And he's very witty. And
I think that completely added to the sport. And I would like my combined athlete to be someone who would add to whatever sport they would be in. And I think that was charisma is the way I would put that. That's the word I would use.
And why showmanship then? And trash talking.
Trash talking.
That's one of your key attributes. Why?
Because I believe that a lot of the times the battle or game is won even before it's happened. You see the amount of times that Conor McGregor gets into someone's head and immediately they falter because of it. The same with Floyd Mayweather, who would be another key example of a similar sort of trash talking. Yes, they are good in interviews, and the self-belief is incredible in what they have, but they go about it a slightly different way to Muhammad Ali did. But that may be the time period. A lot of stuff now they say to be extravagant, but I think it's because they generate the money from it and they get more viewers and it goes all over social media. Oh, look what he said to him and all this. And as far as showmanship, I like watching athletes who are going to be entertaining. I like the little tricks. Maybe they don't come off all the time, but you would rather watch someone like Messi who just dribbles past people, body feints, tricks, rather than some winger who just knocks it and runs. There's an element of sort of the skill involved.
Does Messi do that because he's the best at what he does, and do you think he body feints because he likes to show it off to the fans, or do you think he does that because that's the most efficient way of getting around the obstacle?
But if it was, everyone would do it. It's that element that he does. Like, he's an entertainer. He does like it, although he doesn't show off it off the pitch. He likes to dribble 7 people and chip it over the keeper.
Good point. Interesting that you've both included aspects of the media as one of the reasons as one of the attributes of this Frankenstein character. And also interesting is that you both included hair
Yeah.
as an important feature. So Who would, I guess we're starting at the very top, so who
Yeah.
who would your hair? Who has the best hair, Fraser?
I've gone for Marek Hamsik.
Oh my god.
Do you know what he looks
If
like?
you don't understand
Yeah.
who that is, Google him, please.
He's got, what is it, like a mohawk,
Yeah.
Mohican kind of thing. It's bald on the sides and a massive spike down the middle.
Imagine if you shaved each side of an hedgehog.
Yes.
Right, and then left one strip, little landing strip. If you give a hedgehog a Brazilian, that's what his hair looks like.
Marek Hamsik. I was thinking, it can be intimidating. It'd be good on the luge because he'd be aerodynamic. All he'd have to do is move his head.
Every sport, they wear an helmet.
All right, he wouldn't have to wear a helmet. But I was thinking his head could be like a rudder.
You're a helmet.
All he could do
Are
is
you
just
just dip him in the water for rowing now?
move to the left or the right. It's like a rudder. So imagine he's swimming. He's got to turn at the other end. All he has to do is turn his head straight back the other way. I think his Mohican could be a key attribute to my combined athlete.
Oh well. I also have my athlete also has hair, or does he? I've gone for the hair of the boiled egg, shiny-headed Zinedine Zidane.
You've gone
So I am aerodynamic as well.
He had a bald spot when he was playing.
Yeah, lack of hair.
And now it's gone.
Oh, gone.
Yeah, I like it. Just give him a bit of polish.
So you've gone for a...
And we're going. I'll be like aerodynamic.
Why?
I see. I'm the no frills kind of athlete.
Doesn't
so
really sound like it, Conor McGregor.
He's gonna be bald though. Bald Conor McGregor. You can't take if I'm trash talking, you can't take the mick out of my hair because I ain't got any.
Trash talk.
And when I'm
nugget.
an egghead.
What other kind of facial features have you got? Like, I've gone for the ears of David Clark, who was mentioned on a previous podcast, the blind footballer for England.
Yeah.
'Cause his hearing must be really good. I just think that'd be good in sport.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'll give you that.
That's
I've gone for Jamie Redknapp's face because he's a cracking looking fella.
not David Beckham.
No, I didn't go for David Beckham. I think Jamie Redknapp might be a bit better looking.
Interesting.
I've gone for Roberto Firmino's teeth.
Yes, the brightest teeth in the world.
Just in case, if there's I was thinking he might be playing
A power
tennis.
outage.
Might be playing- I was thinking
He's got floodlights in there.
he might be playing tennis. The sun's just dipping down over the horizon. He can just deflect the sun into the opponent's eyes. It can be used in so many different sports.
He's got the brightest teeth.
The brightest teeth in the world.
Apparently now you can see his teeth on Google Maps. They are visible from space.
Fun fact.
And you can actually see before and after photos that the work's been done. Like, he didn't come in with those teeth. That's
Ding.
that's what happens when you come to Liverpool, when you get vajazzled on your teeth, don't you?
Seriously.
I've got another kind of facial feature, which would be vision. So my eyes. The vision, I've gone for Xabi Alonso's vision.
Oh, I like it.
Maestro.
You can see into the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Xabi Alonso's vision.
You got,
I don't have any other facial features because I don't need any because I got Jamie Redknapp's face, so it's alright. Everything's a winner.
should have gone for the tash of Ian Rush or something.
I was
Oh,
thinking the beard of James Harden, the basketballer for the Houston Rockets, because he just has
It's a beast.
a
isn't
big
it?
old,
Why,
fear
why
the beard.
would beard be
Again,
beneficial?
well, because I've got no hair on the top of my head, so I've got to counteract that with a lot of hair on the
You can't
bottom.
just be completely hairless.
Yeah, you can't be hairless.
No. Okay, and now we're going to move slightly a little bit further down. We've got our heads on our shoulders, and below them we've got left and right arms. A left arm. Give us a left arm, Fraser. Give us a Frankenstein left arm.
So left arm, I've gone for Rafael Nadal, which is kind of an obvious one. 13 Grand Slams. Left hand, I've gone for Martina Navratilova.
Ooh, another tennis.
Another tennis player, but she's got 16 Grand Slams. So I've got her.
You got
her
29.
hand. So
Is
I
she
have
left-handed?
She was they're both left-handed.
Cool.
So yeah, 29 Grand Slams just in my left arm and hand.
Wow. I can't top that because I just put Rafael Nadal's left arm as a
You're missing
home.
out. I've got the extra edge there.
I'd have the left-handed like a champion bowler.
Ooh,
Oh, that's good.
bit of spin.
Bowler, maybe a cricket bowler, or
Yeah.
an actual bowler.
10 pin.
10-pin bowler.
Ooh.
Maybe. I don't know. Throw it out there. Right arms.
Okay, I've got quite a good one here, I think.
Me
So
too.
my right arm would be David Shummy's right arm. Obviously.
Who's David Shummy?
Who's David Shummy? You don't know?
Oh, no, show me.
Alright, it is the guy who has the world record for the longest object thrown
Where have you found that?
on the internet. He threw a boomerang. It didn't come back before you asked. He threw a boomerang.
It's still going.
427.2 meters, which is 1,401.5 feet. So he can chuck stuff really far. So his arm. And I've gone Shane Warne's right hand. Kind of like you were saying, Smithy. A bowler, the control of the ball, unbelievable. He bowled the ball of the century. Shane Warne's right hand.
Incredible dexterity.
I'm kind of thinking that I've gone for like an absolute thug of a Frankenstein here, but I have the right arm of Phil Taylor. Phil the Power Taylor.
Great shot.
Who is, for anyone who doesn't know, a darts professional who has probably dominated the sport for the last decade at least. And I think the actual throwing action of a darts, they have to be so accurate. Just in the throwing action, I think it's a great right arm, and I know he's right-handed because he's got that tattoo that says power on his right arm, and that's what he throws with. Right, and to finish off the arms, I actually have the same person's fists, and they are Mike Tyson's. I've got some power in my punch, just in case I'm that's what I was thinking. What a thug! Just in case I'm fighting, then I'm gonna be an absolute brute.
So you got Phil Taylor's tattoos here.
Yeah.
No, any of Mike Tyson's tattoos or?
No, because he's only got his face.
Oh yeah,
He's only got his face.
okay, fair enough. Fine.
Can't put a tattoo on Jamie Redknapp's face as well.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
He's not a mild-mannered brute, is he?
No.
He's
There's some culture in here, Fraser.
He's baby-faced.
Assassin.
Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so moving on down, do we have any torsos? Do you actually put in a torso?
I don't, but if I did, it's obvious it'd be Cristiano Ronaldo. But
I was thinking Tom Daly.
Tom Daly, yeah,
He's got a great torso.
you wouldn't be able to carry those fists around. But
He'd be dragging the knuckles.
He'd be dragging them around. Well, it depends what this torso was on top of. Whose legs would you have?
Oh, good one. Go on, Fraser. I'll let you.
I've gone
Kick off with the legs.
Usain Bolt. He gets a few mentions on this podcast, but I've got his legs.
Wow.
We've also got a left foot and a right foot on the end of those legs, obviously. The left foot of Lionel Messi, probably one of the best footballers of all time. Well,
Yeah.
Probably. Right foot of David Beckham and his absolute whippage.
So basically, you're going to be good at football.
I'm going to be good at everything, that's the whole point.
No, you're not.
You've tailored it to football a little bit.
I've gone all around the block.
Go on then, what have you got?
So my legs are from a female athlete,
Good.
Lindsay Vonn,
Oh,
The
very
the
good.
skier.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Because skiing is an unbelievably hard task on your legs. She's actually won 2 Olympic medals, 1 gold, 1 bronze, and is actually one of only 6 women to have won a race in the World Cup in all 5 disciplines of alpine skiing, which are downhill, super G, giant slalom, and super combined. So her legs just must be fantastic.
You did well to remember all that without notes, mate.
Yeah, no, I've been practicing a lot. Bit of revision, Won't hurt you two boys.
You need to step the game up. What are you trying to say? Okay, so now some other additional ancillary attributes. I love the alliteration.
Good word.
What other sort of attributes would your Frankenstein have?
I've got one for longevity. I think, to be the ultimate athlete, to be thought of one of the greatest in your sport, you have to have longevity. So I've gone for Ryan Giggs' longevity.
Yeah.
Played from the age of 16 up to, 38, 39. And in a sport like football, that's massive longevity. So I've gone for Ryan Giggs' longevity.
Yeah, I can't argue. That's a pretty good one. I've gone for, adding to my brutish nature, I've gone for strength. And I've gone for Eddie Hall, who is the 2017 World's Strongest Man. He's the first man to deadlift half a ton as well. So, Fraser, I'm going to pick you up and snap you in half by the sound of this.
Listen, Tom Daly's frame could not deadlift half a ton.
You can't just watch me.
I've also got, have you got anything for like reactions or hand-eye coordination?
I do have hand-eye coordination, yes.
Okay, I have for touch and deftness, I've gone for Ma Long, who was the first male player to win every singles title in table tennis.
Yeah.
Because the touch and the deftness of table tennis, I think. So that's almost like, the fingers and the...
Ultimate fine motor skills.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've gone hand-eye coordination, I've gone for Tiger Woods.
Good.
So the minor adjustments in a golf swing that they make, or the deftness of the touch when they're on the putting green or just off, I think that I'd be very good hand-eye coordination.
Hand-eye coordination in golf,
Yeah.
as opposed to a racket.
I was thinking tennis, but I already had Kyrgios and I wanted to mix it up a bit rather than have 6 footballers and 3 tennis players.
So for my
But
reactions,
what about, there's so many hand-eye what about a baseball?
Yeah, that's true.
If you can hit a baseball, you can do anything really. You can hit anything.
They don't hit it very much.
Yeah, precisely for that reason, is they've got 95-mile-an-hour straight fastballs coming at them. I think you could have gone down that route there.
I could have done, to be fair.
Omitted a little bit there.
I've got quite a good one for reactions. So for reactions, I was thinking of going for a cricket player, which would be Sachin Tendulkar.
Oh, I didn't think of it.
I was reading in Nature Neuroscience journal.
Just a bit of casual reading before bed.
Yeah. Just
As you
I
do.
like to prepare for the pod, and Nature Neuroscience is one of my go-tos. So
Was this this was mentioned? Was it in the drugs one?
No, it wasn't. This is the first time I read it. So when you play a cross-batted shot in cricket, so like a hook or a pull,
Yeah.
or even like a cut, the vertical position that you would have your bat in has to be within 3 centimeters of the perfect position in order to make perfect contact with the ball, and you have to judge the time of arrival to within 3 milliseconds in order to make contact with the ball as your bat passes through.
That's crazy.
For a cricket player, you've got about half a second, which is 500 milliseconds, to see the ball, judge the ball, and think about what shot you're going to play, and then play that shot. And they say
For context, how fast is the
Yeah, I
average
was
cricket
gonna
ball come at you?
At the top level, the quickest bowlers bowl just over 90 miles per hour, and it's a 22-yard strip that they bowl down.
With a bounce.
With a bounce that you have to react to as well. They say there's 50 milliseconds between how the amateurs play and how the pros play. So out of that 500 milliseconds, only 50 milliseconds of it really matter, which is the end 50, where you're deciding your shot and playing the shot.
Wow.
So there's only 50 milliseconds between the amateurs and the pros. Everything else is pretty much the same. However, in fencing, there's only a 40 millisecond difference between whether you get they call it the épée, which is like, a
That's
stab.
it, isn't it?
Yeah, a stab kind of action. There's 40 milliseconds.
You've been reading nature journals and he's been practicing his beat noise.
I'm thinking.
Come on.
So there's only 40 milliseconds between the two fighters. I don't know what they're called. The two fighters. There's only 40 milliseconds, so it's even faster than the reactions in cricket. And so I've gone for the reactions of Edoardo Mangiarotti, who was an Italian fencer, and he's got 39 Olympic and World Championship medals. The most
39?
39 Olympic and World Championship medals.
How many categories are there in fencing? Like, is it just one at a time? Like in swimming, you can win 8 at a time.
I don't know, but he's got.
Get back to
39
nature neuroscience.
I think
come
he's
back
got
to us.
13 Olympic gold medals.
Oh, wow.
So there must be multiple. I think it was 1950s, but yeah, he's the most decorated fencer of all time. So he's my reaction.
We'll get Bradley on that.
Yeah. Let's see what he's got. Yeah.
Just ask him. Bradley, what's he called? Mangiarotti.
Mangiarotti.
Bradley.
You have any other attributes you want to add in?
Yes, I do. I have power as well.
Power?
Just to add, yeah.
Strength and power and the fists of Mike Tyson.
I'm like Jeremy Clarkson, aren't I? And I've gone for the power of Serena Williams. Because
Very good.
she crushes the ball and it just leaves her opponents bewildered sometimes. They can't even compete with her. And she's been such a dominant force in tennis for such a long time. And obviously the skill level for her is unbelievable because you're hitting at that power and the accuracy that she does. So yeah, I've gone for Serena Williams' power. I only have one more, so have you got...
I've got 2.
A couple more, yeah?
Yeah, I've gone for the balance of Simone Biles, the
gymnast.
Yeah,
the American gymnast.
fantastic
Yeah.
shout.
Balance. Obviously, any sport requires balance, and I think gymnastics is the epitome of balance. Obviously, Simone Biles, and then the last one is the heart, and I don't mean determination and stuff. I mean actual heart, cardiovascular fitness.
Lance Armstrong.
Steve Redgrave.
Does he have a big heart?
amazingly massive heart. 5 Olympic gold medals. He's the only person in an endurance sport to have achieved that feat of getting 5 separate gold medals at Olympic Games. And his heart was so strong that after he'd retired, he had to keep training to reduce the size of his heart slowly. Otherwise, he would have
I
had
heard
health
that.
issues.
Yeah, he had to detrain. He had to deload his heart because it was used to pumping at such high volumes that if he had just stopped straight out, then he would have been pumping too much blood for the activity that he was like doing on a daily basis. So he had to detrain over a number of years or a number of months just to try and essentially get his heart used to function like a normal human being.
Shows how much nature plays a
and
part
like I said,
in
he's
creating
the only
athletes, doesn't it?
That's true.
No, that comes from training over years and years. He was not
Oh yeah, it's all nurture. What are you talking about?
He's definitely not born with a
big
massive
arm.
heart.
No.
Yes, he was.
He's the only person ever in an endurance sport to win 5 Olympic golds, which for me that was my most staggering statistic.
Just to win 1 Olympic gold, like
5
amazing.
separate Olympic golds. So yeah.
I have one more, and it's an accent.
Oh.
So I was thinking, well,
Let's see
if I'm going to be
this showman trash talking.
that's what I'm
accent.
thinking.
Where's
If
he
I'm
gonna
going to
be
be
from?
big and tough, I need to talk some trash to all my opponents. I'm going to have Thierry Henry's French accent.
Does that really go Conor McGregor's trash talking?
Oh
Give us an example.
imagine it. Hello, Fraser, your athlete is awful.
Oh my god. I can't even. That's the worst thing.
Please delete that.
That is the worst thing I've ever heard. Okay. So, can you sum up your Frankenstein athletes?
So I think mine's more of the calm and collected type with, the deftness of a fencer, the temperament of Roger Federer, the balance of Simone Biles, and the right arm of David Shummy, obviously. So I think my guys
Boomerang man. He doesn't understand how a boomerang works.
So yeah, I think I've gone for the more technical athletes. And Kurt, what have you gone for?
I've gone for an absolute animal of an athlete.
With the frame of Tom Daly.
with the torso of Tom Dale. So basically, I'm an absolute monster with abs. So I've gone for the showmanship of Nick Kyrgios, can have some entertainment. Jamie Redknapp's beautiful face. Some hair like Zidane's, or lack of it. Some trash talking from Conor McGregor, strength, Eddie Hall. Lindsey Vonn's very strong and powerful legs, combined with Serena Williams' just pure power as well. Mike Tyson's heavy hitting fists, all culminated and sweetly serenaded with Thierry Henry's French accent. Oh, oui, oui.
Xabi Alonso versus Mike Tyson.
Amazing.
If ever a podcast summed up the differences in our personalities,
It was this.
I think it's come out there, definitely. Remember, you can suggest the next hot topic by reaching out to us on Twitter using the hashtag AskSmithy or Hot Topic Trio. If you wanted to suggest some of the attributes or body parts for the Frankenstein athlete that these guys left out, then you can reach out to us doing that, and also using the handles on Twitter at @JASmithy, at Fraser Goodlad, and at Kurt Gallagher 94.
Yep.
Remember to subscribe and share, and if you like the podcast, go and tell someone about it. This has been the Smithy Show with Curtis Gallagher,
See you in a bit.
Fraser Goodlad,
see you fans.
and myself, Joseph Smith. Thank you for listening.
We got stuck.